So keywords are nothing but a reserved keywords, like we have, let's say for an example, let me go with this documentation. So as you can see here, these are the standard words that constitutes Java. So it is a predefined, it has a predefined meaning and which cannot be redefined again. So it is always in a lowercase. So when I say predefined meaning, so everyone have came across algebra, right? So in which you might have seen integer, double, float, short, long. Is anyone not aware of this type of data types? Anyone not heard about it? Oh my God.
So keywords.
Okay, team. One thing before I continue the session, so it should be an interactive session. It should not be like an one way. If I am asking something, I need to know like whether you have some understanding on it or not. Okay. So coming back to keyword, yes, yeah.
So
Yes,
keywords
sir.
basically it will be not act as a variable or anything. It will be specified in the language, like if is a keyword and while or if is keyword.
Okay. So basically, like, let's say like we have a number that is two or like 0 to 10. Okay. So like when I say 0 to 10, a normal human being can understand. Okay, this is a zero, this is 10. But it can be either represented using the numerical value or through the alphabetic characters, right? So when it comes to the machine, so it has to understand what exactly it is. So it has to have an understanding of what we are going to define. So the keywords are like this. So we have abstract, continue, for, new, switch, assert, go to, if statements. We'll also be working on this. Like we have short, okay, short. Then we have for characters, char, long. This is for the again the integer type value, float. We have while loop. This is for the conditions. So forth. Like all these keywords will be used to define some no define some conditions in the programming code. Let's say like for an example, if we want in each keyword, like let's say like this boolean. So boolean is nothing but a value of either a true or a false. So there's a condition where I need to check whether the gender is male or female. So that is like an male or female. So there's one condition, either male or either female. So in that cases, I will be using boolean. Like this, we will be using all these keywords in one or the other conditional statements. Is everyone clear?
Yes.
Okay, more or less, it these keywords. Francis, I would suggest you to go on mute. There's a lot of disturbance. Thanks, Francis. Okay, so coming to the keywords should always be represented using the smaller letters. It should not be represented using the capital or camel casing. Okay. Now, let's see. The next is we have identifiers. So identifiers are nothing but like user defined names. So we have in our programming code, we will be having a variable, a method, a class. So let me just show you a small example. Okay. So this is just a like normal structure of the programming code. So as you can see here, this identifier, I have given a name. This is a user defined identifier. Whenever we define something, from our through our interaction, that is called as an user defined. Okay, so this is a class name. This is called termed as a class name. So anything that is followed by a parenthesis, that is this parenthesis, we call it as a method. Okay, so this is a main. So this whole thing is called as a main method. Okay, so this methods is also an identifier. Then we have the class that is also an identifier. Now we can also have, let's say, int a is equal to 10. Okay, so whenever we declare a single character, we term it as a variable. So why we call it as a variable? It will have a capacity to store some value inside it. So this, let's say like 10, I have been assigned to a. So this 10 will be stored under the memory for the a variable. Now, as you can see here, I have represented it as an int. So int is nothing but the data type. Okay, so we have multiple data types like double, we have float. Okay, so like this, we can define with the data type. We have to define a data type for a particular variable, and then we will be assigning the value. Now, since it is an integer, I'm passing the value of 10. If it is a character or a string, say string address is equal to, so this is like a string of characters. Similarly, we can pass the character also. Let's say v is equal to house. Okay, I mentioned character. So character should be in the single quotes and it should be one character at a time. So as you can see the differences here, for an integer, I am passing the numerical value. For a double, I am passing the decimal type of value, that is 0.0. Same goes with a float. So we have to represent it using the 0f. For string, it's a number of characters together. So I'm just passing some string value, and coming to the character, we have to represent using the single quote and one value at a time. Is everyone clear? Now, coming to the literals. Okay. So literal means, the meaning of literals means the value that is being assigned is not going to change. That is to say, if I'm saying that int a is equal to 10, so that is fixed. If I say again int a is equal to 20, it will throw an error. As you can see here, it is throwing me an error. Okay. So only once we can declare one variable and we can assign a value. If we want to declare the same, let's say like if I go with double also, it will throw me an error. So this is called as a literal. Like once we define a variable, it cannot be changed. This is an integer literal. This is the double literal. Is everyone able to understand what is a literal?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have just gone through the next, that is literals are data types and the identifiers. So any doubts so far understanding this concept?
Sir, how we can achieve literals? Sir?
How?
We can achieve literals. I mean, if
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I understood. Okay, so a literal is just a naming given to the value that has been assigned. So let me just remove this. Okay, so I will take this as an example. I have mentioned int a is equal to 10. All right. So this value is not going to change for a variable a. Now, if I'm trying to change the value of a again into another number that is 20, it will throw me an error. So
Yes.
basic meaning of literal means whatever the value that has been assigned to a variable, it cannot be it cannot be changed, or it is like a constant for a variable. This will be a constant. If at any case, if we want to add a new value into our system, then we have to make use of another variable instead of the defined already defined variable. You're getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as I discussed, we have data types. So data type is of two kinds of data type we have. One is a primitive data type, and one more is a non-primitive data type. We call it as a reference data type. So data type is the values that a variable can contain and the operations that can be performed. As I showcased here, like if I say int a is equal to 10, so here the data type is int. Similarly, as I showed before, it is like double, float, and all the other things will come here. Let me show what it is. So as you can see here, like we have the primitive types. So primitive types is again categorized into numeric as well as a Boolean. Now, why it has been categorized is because Boolean is only about a true or a false. So that is the last, there's no more classification for the Boolean. But when it comes to the numeric type, so numeric is about two kinds. That is one with a normal integer, then one more is a decimal points, that is point zero representation. So we will represent like floating point types and integral types. So byte, short, int, long, character. So these are all will be represented using in this representation manner. When it comes to the float or the double, we will present it as decimal with a dot t. So, all right. So as you can see, to give a general example, let's take an example of rupees. Okay, can anyone say how rupees is represented?
Intake.
No, what's the general format in the order of numerics? What's the general format? Is it let's say for an example, I have 20 rupees. So is it represented as 20?
RS20. It's
Sure.
RS.
Okay. So it is a wrong coding. Like I can say, like it's a wrong conception. So rupees should always be mentioned. Rupees or dollars, whatever the currency change, it should be mentioned with the paisa. Okay, 00 represents a paisa, and this is the numeric of rupee, like 20 and paisa. So why this is very important is whenever we work on a application, or whenever we're working on, let's say like we are working on a finance based project, okay, and you have presented as 20. Okay, what will happen is by chance, if like the all the from the coding convention, the rupee is always in 20.00, that is 00 represents a paisa. And when someone has mentioned as like 20 or something like that, it will not take the value. So it will consider as some random value that is be stored under a variable. Okay, so you should always remember it will always be the dot 000. Everyone understood level?
Yes,
Understood?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. No, the same thing. That's the purpose, like for we are dividing or classifying the primitive data types to numeric and the floating points as well as the integral. Now, each, let's say like float, double, byte, short, int, long, char, right? So each carries some set of value wherein which it can store. Before I go ahead, I would like to know, anyone know what's the value of 1 byte? Like how many bits is a 1 byte?
8
8
bits.
bits.
Someone said 5, someone said
bits.
8.
8
Right? Okay. So 1 byte is composed of 8 bits.
8 bits.
Okay. So we have, yeah. So we have byte, we have the short, we have int, we have long, we have characters. So each composed of some values again, right? So how to, let's go with a byte, that is 1 byte. Then comes the short, then comes the character. Kindly make a note of this. It is very necessary. Int, then long, then float, then we have double. Okay, so let me just say it as a data type and its value. Okay, so as we all know, like the byte is of 1 byte. We can start with a 1 byte. So this is 1, and coming to the short. So short is of byte size 2. Okay. Now character is like character. We have 3 different types. That is normal char that starts from -128 to 127 or 0 to 256. Now we have unsigned characters and we have signed characters also, which is of let's say like okay, I will mention it as 1 here. Then I'll say variation. We have unsigned, signed. So signed is of again 1 byte only, and unsigned is also about 1 byte. All right. So int is about either 2 or 4 bytes. So it's completely dependent on the number of values that we pass. So it's a 2 or a 4 byte. Now coming to long, it's about 8 bytes. Okay, here it is again based on the requirement. So we can also divide it like 4 byte also, 4, or we can even increase the byte size to 32. Okay, so coming to float and double, so it's about 4 bytes. And coming to the double, it's about the same. Double is just let's say like 8 byte. Just make it 1. So that is 8 bits, so 4. So it can be made of up to 32. Okay, sorry, not 30, up to 32. 4 bytes. For everyone, is everyone aware of 32-bit and 64-bit operating system? Anyone not aware of it? Okay, so everyone aware of it, right? Okay. So 32-bit operating system or the 64 operating system is the ARM architecture with respect to our motherboard that is up and running in our laptops or in the PCs. Okay, so 4 or 8. Okay, this is a general thing. So it starts from minimum, it goes to the maximum, the values. All right. So it is completely dependent here. Either it can be a 4 or 8. So for a 32-bit operating system. Everyone clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to the reference type, it references like whenever we pass some value. So as you can see here, here this is a main method, right? This is a main method. Similarly, we'll having some more methods wherein which I'll show one. Okay, no need to type this. I will explain the body, then you can start working on it. Okay. So what I've done is I've just created a method called display. So I haven't passed anything over here. So this is like a normal class reference. So I have created a class that is an identifier, which I've defined here. So I've created an object for it. So through that object, I'm going to call the method display. So where it will print my the message saying that hi there. So as you can see, it is giving me the output. So coming back to the reference type. So reference means whenever we pass some reference to the method, let's say this method, I haven't passed anything. If I want to pass some value or some parameters, we can do that. Okay. So we can make use of classes as I shown right now. So interface is also among like classes only. So wherein which we will be having multiple classes like this. So let's say like we have identifier as a one class, and we might have one more class named some identifier two. So when we want to connect with each other, we will be using some keywords like interfaces, and we have arrays. So we'll be looking into interface and arrays also in the next topics. So as of now, understand that reference is like a passing the parameter. So where in which through the main method, we are going to pass some value. Is everyone able to understand this? Should I repeat it? Should I repeat this?
Yes, sir. Yes. Continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's say that let me just remove all this. Okay. So I have a method called display, and I'm going to create an object or create a object for the class identifier in the main method. Okay, this is my main method. I'm going to create an object. So this is termed as an object, not a variable. We call it as an object. So why we are going to create an object is because if we want to access any method or any variable that is defined outside the main method. Okay, so we can make use of the object. So object, what it will do, through the access specifier, that is a dot, it will try to access whatever the method that I'm going to ask, like I'm going to call here. Okay, right now in this parameter, let's say if I'm not, I'm saying int a. In that case, I have to pass 10 here. Okay, so what it will do, this value is referenced by display method. Able to understand? So the value of a is been passed here, but it is taking a reference of a display method. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes.
Or if I say run, hi there, 10. Getting? So I'm passing a value here, but it is taking a reference, like from where this method is taking the reference, it is taking through the main method's object. So that is the reference based, like through the classes. And interface is again another concept where we will be looking into inheritance first, then we will go with the keyword interface. And coming to arrays, it is also one of the concept, as we are only looking into classes now. So this is about a class, and we will be looking into the another two concepts also in the next slides. Okay. So okay, now coming to the type conversion. Okay. So type conversion is nothing but we have this order, right? That is byte, short, int, long, float, double. So these are the data types that will be used in our coding. So as you can see here, it is from short, that is from 1 to 1 to 4, like from the incremental approach, it is there. Now, my question here is, if I, okay, before to that, let me just go back. I'll tell what is type conversion also. So type conversion is if I want my byte, the byte value to be converted to the integer. Okay, so the conversion is called as an type conversion. We are just converting the data type, that is from byte to short or byte to integer. Is everyone clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now my question here is it possible for me to convert double to integer?
So
Yes.
Come again. See, I said from byte I can convert it to integer. The reason behind here is byte is of about 1 byte and integer is either 2 or a float. Okay, so byte is very small compared to the integer value. So we can convert it very easily. So is it possible to for us to convert from double to int, since the size of double is 8 byte and integer is only about 2 or 4 bytes?
they're possible up to
Yes,
4
sir.
bytes.
Okay, you have said yes, and you said no. How many says yes? Just raise your hand. One, two. Okay. 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 Good. Okay. Now tell me the reason, one by one. Like how?
So you
Like
will
why do
pass.
you pass? Okay. Okay. Coming to the past. So it is like we get an input and we convert it into user defined data type. So that is, let's say, like I'm getting from the keyboard, I'm getting string as a value, and I want it to store that value as an integer, then I'm going to use parse. Okay. So that's about parse. So basically, like, yes, we can do it. So if it is no, if your answer was no, was that also, that's also okay. It's not like you know it completely. So this is okay. This is not the type conversion. Okay. Now, how is it possible? Like, when the size is of 8 byte, that is double is 8 byte, and the integer value is 4. So how we can store the values? So let's take an example and we can compare the results. Okay. Okay, let this be here. Just create one more. And say type conversion. Everyone able to see the font, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first I will go with the smaller to big, that is from byte to double in that order. So I will take one, that is int I is equal to, let's say, like 200. This value is 200. And I'll say I'm going to convert this int to long now. So I will say long L is nothing but my I. Okay. So let me just, this is, okay, this is my initialized value, that is int, with a value of 200, which is of variable I. Now, what I'm trying to say, this I is of, the I value of I is belong to long also. So let me check back. So int, which I mentioned, it is in the 2 or the 4, I'm going to pass here. Okay, done. So let me just do one more, just to have clarity. So I will say float f is equal to L. Okay. Integer value and once your Eclipse has been installed, do let me know. Okay, I will share my code and I will let you know like how to execute also. So after that, you can start working on the program. So this is an integer, then we have long, then we have float. Okay, and let me just explain this also. So we have, whenever we want to print in our console output, we make use of system.out.println and any statement that we want to use. Also the variable that we have defined. So as you can see here, I have defined a variable I. So I'm making use of I. So we have to pass it as a plus I. So whenever we work with println statement, okay, so we have to make use of plus to print the value of a variable. Now there is one more format, that is okay, there's something called printf. So which you all might have have came across, have done also, might be. So printf, so it requires a percentage. So since it is an d, let's say like this, and the cent I, it's already there. So it says Now, both the statement is about printing the value of I, but what makes it differ is when I say system.out.println integer value plus I. Okay, so there is no need to remember which percentage I have to use. Okay, when it comes to the printf statements, we have to know that either it is, if it is an integer, it is a D. If it is in character, it is S. If it is in float value, we have to use F. If we want to use, if you want to check for the double, then it is D. Okay, like this, there are some percentage criteria for to print using the printf statement. All right. So the more feasible part is system.out.println, which we have to just define plus with an variable name. Does everyone agrees with this? Or you want to go with an older version that is percentage? Okay.
No, sir, this is better.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just run this program. So as you can see here, integer value is 200. Again, it has been type converted. My long value is also 200. Coming to the float, as you can see here, float is represented using the .0, even though I have not mentioned like .f here. So machine will understand float and double as a dot, that is a decimal pointed values. Okay, so this are all we call it as an implicit type conversion. That is, implicit means from shorter range to the higher range. So whenever we do from higher range to the shorter range, that we call it as an explicit type conversion. So before we go with the explicit, is everyone clear with the implicit? Anyone need more clarifications on this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Now let me just put this type conversion to. Okay, so here I'll just do one thing. I'll just remove this. Let me just instead of float, I will make double this time. Okay, so we'll say double is equal to 200.06. Let's say like 06. Okay, I don't need to define right now. So okay, we'll say explicit type conversion, so you can understand. So in order to get get from the higher range to the longer range, we have to define some more extra columns also. So let's say I'm going to convert to the long. So I'll say long L is equal to my character is D. So if I do this as a default, as we done in the implicit, as you can see here, it is throwing me an error. So this error is because of it is in higher range. The double is in higher range, and long is quite compared to double, it is very short. Okay, so here we will get an automatic suggestion also at cast. We can do that. If someone wants to experiment, they have to type it out like saying long. Now this is completely optional whether you want to go with a long or if you define it as an integer, so you can define it as an int. If you want to define it as a character, you can go with a character. Okay, so basically whenever we want to do an explicit type conversion, we make use of a parenthesis. Inside that parenthesis, we will be passing the data type to which we want to convert. So I was trying to convert to long. Let me just do that. Okay, so Now I have long. Let me go with one more shorter range. So I'll say int I. So int I is equal to, if it is a L, so in parentheses I need to get int, let's say integer value, that is plus I, long value plus L plus D. So as you can see here, integer value is 200, long value is also 200, and double value is 200.06. Is everyone clear? Able to understand how we can convert?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, I will give you one more example. This is a direct conversion, right? So let me just take one more example on this. Okay, so this time I will make use of byte. So let me say byte b is equal to value having somewhere around 70. Now we can make use of this. I need to convert into byte only. Now what I need to convert? So I'll say how much I need to convert. So let's say like 3 into 2. Okay, so this method we call it as an explicit type conversion by expression. So whenever we pass some, the multiplications or any parenthesis based or plus or any arithmetic values, that we call it as an expression. So this is typecasting using expression. Okay, so I'm going to store a new value to b, that is after converting through the expression b into 2 and convert it to the type of byte again, and I will store it in the value of b, that is instead of 70 it will change it to 140. Okay, so I'll just say system, I'll just pass the b. Okay. Okay, it is taking 160. Okay, 70 b is this. Let me just take it to, no, this is byte itself. Since I have done this, let me just go with this integer. Okay. Getting? So
Sir.
basically, like, yes, good.
Sir, is it required to put that bracket
Put that.
because in above it's also in that typecasting using expression now basically to bracket of int is that is it required to
Yeah, this
put
is
that
mandatory. Yeah, this is
in that bracket
mandatory.
because above it's also int, so that's
No, whenever we do an explicit typecasting, the portion which I've highlighted right now, okay, this is very important and this should be in the bracket itself. Now coming to this is an optional, but when we do any it's like there is some condition. Okay, so condition is this is this. So I believe there is some condition like this, wherein which parenthesis will be considered first, then the values that we pass inside. So if we don't use in this order, that is b in the parenthesis, it will be considered as two different values. When we put it into in a single bracket, it is considered as a one single value. Getting? this is very this is mandatory. This should be in the brackets. This is optional. Like either you can go with a bracket or you can choose like without the bracket also. Okay. That is to say, if I do like this, no, this will not work. Okay, if we do this also, you will get the output. But when we explain about any expression, we have to define within the parenthesis. Just to give a general example, we have everyone have come across a plus b the whole square, or a plus b the whole cube, and so on, so right. So it is always mentioned within the parameters. Do you know the reason why? Anyone have idea why it is always represented within the brackets? Okay, there's a concept called yeah. Yes, the values or the way in which our machine will transcript, or we call it doesn't like how it will what do you say, like analyze the values or the expressions is from the left to right. Okay, so from left to right, it will not check from right to left. And when it comes to the values or the operators that we use, it has also having some priorities. So if we define some plus, and there's one more into 10 like this, first it will do this value, then it will go for the value which we get, then into this, right? Let me just go back. So like this, there is a condition also. It is not like mandatory you have to go with this. So it is an optional in this case. But when we define more number of parameterized values, we have to make use of this. Everyone able to understand? When we are just defining only two, only variable, that is b and into 2, there's only one parameter I'm passing. So like this, we might have in future like 10 to 15. So to define each of this, we have to make use of the parameters. Able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, that's about the type conversion. So as I said, we have the implicit and the explicit, as well as the compatibility. We have also checked in with respect to how the short range is being converted to the longer range, and from the longer range to the shorter range. Okay. Now going back, we do have formatted output. So formatted output, I already explained it. So formatted output is nothing but the print statement. So that is print ln. Just a second. Okay. With respect to print ln, this is the general syntax, and as I said, with respect to printf, like we do have certain percentage that we have to remember, right? So like this, let me just printf. Okay, so in this range, we do have few more. That is, we have percentage n for the new line, and percentage d, as I discussed, it is for the integer type value to fetch from the memory. F for the float or the double we use, and E is for, again, we use it for the floating point. And this is like whenever we are working with an hexadecimal or octa numbers, then we will be using this E. We have percentage. This can be represented for the when we have a string of characters that need to be printed, and coming to C, it is for a single character, like A, B, C, any single characters. To fetch that value and print, we make use of percentage C. All right. So that's about the formatted output. Okay, we have operators, comments, conditional concepts. Okay, do one thing. Take a break now and connect back at 11:50. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, at what time we have to connect again?
Yes, sir.
11:50. 11:50. 11:50.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Yeah, go ahead, Kiran.
Actually, in my laptop, I'm having Eclipse Oxygen. Sir. It is fine for now, sir.
Eclipse, which version?
Oxygen version. Oxygen.
Yeah, it is absolutely fine.
Sir, actually, in our office laptop, there is some restriction, so we cannot install ourselves. The IT team will be install the software in our laptop.
Okay, we have already asked with your IT team to give a provision. So do get in touch with your
So
IT
we
teams.
install, but when we open it, show some error.
Okay, what is the error?
Sir, some error will not found. What?
Do one
Metadata
thing.
error.
Okay, I understood. Like after the break, share your screen. I will get back to you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Hello team, is everyone back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so few of them yet to join.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, will you, okay, team, we'll begin with the session. So, okay, before we start, kindly let your team to know like to join. I believe few more to need to join. Okay. Okay, shall we begin?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, fine. So we have done with the till formatted output. Now we will be looking into operators and commands, conditional construct, looping construct, break and continue, processing arrays, and recursion. Now coming back to operators. So like in general understanding, what do you know? What is an operator? Can anyone can tell?
Assignment operators.
Okay, assignment operator. Yeah. Any other operators that you are aware of?
Arithmetic.
Okay. Yeah. Arithmetic operator. Yes.
Conditional operators, bitwise operators, assignment operators,
Mhm.
logical operators.
Okay. Fine. So yes, we do have the arithmetic, the bitwise and logical, the assignment, and we do have few more. That is a unary operator, a binary operator, and the ternary operator. So like before we begin, let's understand what is a unary operator. So we have plus plus icon. So to give you a general example, and just let it be here. There's a condition called for. So if you can see here, so this is a conditional statement. Okay, all right. So which starts from 0 and it will go till the j meets the condition. So as you can see here, there's something called j plus plus. So like this, we have few more variables can be defined, like I plus plus or k plus plus, and I minus minus. This is also there, plus plus I. So these are all nothing but the unary operator. So this unary operator are always been used in a for loop condition, or whenever we want to increase some value. So when I say increase some value, like if we have declared some variable like count is equal to 0 initially, let this be. So I've said like this count variable is having a 0 value. So after doing some conditional check, increment each time. So I'll say count plus plus. I can do this. So this is also an unary operator. Able to understand, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So coming to the binary, I believe everyone would have been used this, like wherein which you compare between two variable. Like let's say if I have int a is equal to 10 and int b is equal to 10. So I will compare this int c, let's say like a is equal to b. Sorry, when I do a conditional statement, I'll say if a is equal to b, then do this count. To pass the type. It's not taking. Wait. Yeah. Okay, this is with respect to, this is completely different, the double equal to. I'll just remove this. Okay, now, I'll say A is equal to B. Or B is equal to C. We can do this, and this is just a basic representation. This is not the right format we have to use, but it is just a basic representation where I'm saying either A is equal to B, or this is an OR operator. So or B is equal to. So I'm just representing it. It's not like this is a right format, like where in which for we have and we are going to check this condition. No. It's completely in a different format. I will show that also. For now, understand that this is the way we compare the values. Like num1 is equal to num2, and we have ternary operator. So this requires 3 operands. Okay. Before I go ahead, everyone understood what is an operand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is it?
Identifier.
It is a
Operand
variable
is
that what we defined.
Um, okay, is it a method name, or is it a class name, or is it a variable name?
a variable name.
Variable
It's
name.
variable name.
Yes. Okay, it can be a variable name, or it can be a value also. So basically, if A plus B is mentioned, so plus represents the operator, A and B represents the operands. So if I say 2, 1, this is also possible. So this is an operand, this is the operator, and this again operand. Okay. Now, in ternary operator, we do have in a different format. That is num1. If it is greater than 0, then num1 is equal to 100, and num1 or num1 is equal to 200. So did anyone understood like how it is been analyzed, or any idea?
Yes, sir. If the first condition, first one is a condition. If it is satisfied, the second one is printed. or else the third one is printed.
Yes, you're true. Okay, when you say condition, is it a condition of what type of condition you're referring to?
If num1 is greater than 0 means people think num1 is equals to 100, sir.
Okay,
Or else,
let me come. Wait. Let me come back. Just okay. Here in this, not in the float double or something. I want to know like in this format, either numeric type or Boolean, integer, or floating. In which condition is it referred? Like the ternary operator refers to.
Boolean.
Yes. So that is it is if it is a true, then it will go to the condition. If it is false, it will go to the next condition, right? So as you can see here, there's a question mark, either true or false. If it is a true, it will go to this or it will go to this, right? So coming back to the relational, sorry, arithmetic, I believe everyone are aware of it, that is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, divisions, and modulus. Is anyone not aware of this? Okay, all right. So we do have relational and conditional operators where we will check the greater values, or if it is a lesser value or greater than equal to, less than equal to, if it is not equal to. So this one, as I shown right now, the OR operator, this is AND operator. So AND operator is like this. That is, okay, I'll just show here itself. I'm just taking a small example. So it's not like, should be this. So we can define AND here. So when both the conditions meet true, that is, let's say this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Currently, I have not defined the variable, so that's the error it is throwing me. So when I say A plus B, I have a value, and C plus D, there's one more value. And if both the conditions are true, then you print me a like a system.out.println some print statement that I'm going to define. If one of this fails, you don't have to print this system.out.println, you do some other print statement. Okay, the same thing when it goes to the OR, it will check either of the cases, that is either this is true or this is true. If either one of the case is true, it will print me the statement. So it will not go to this. If both are false, then it will go to the next statement. You able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So we have bitwise, logical. So so we call it as a right shift operator and the left shift operator. We have the power, that is a tilted, and we have ampersand, we have or. So we'll do one thing. Okay, did the Eclipse got installed in everyone's systems?
Sir, what should I install?
What should I install in the
Like for
I
Java developers or?
Okay, the second one, that is Java double E.
Sorry, in my laptop there is some error. May I open it?
That's not coming, sir.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, so for me also, company's laptop shows some error.
Okay, do one thing. One of you share the screen. Let me check what is happening. Yeah, anyone. Sashwat, Thomas, or Ajay.
Let me just screenshot some more. Yeah,
Is it okay?
yeah, fine. It is so.
Okay, Shashwat's screen is visible. Share the error. Okay, you have installed. Sorry, you have downloaded the WAR file. That's the zip file.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, open this.
Yes,
See the. Okay, go back. Close this. Close this. And go back. Double click on that. Start again. Now click on browse. Go to this Windows C. Program. Yeah, that one. Yeah. No, wait. Go to users. Go to users. Okay. Go to your open. Then scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. You should be able to see workspace, Eclipse workspace.
Please workspace. In Eclipse under.
No, not that. Okay, there is no workspace created. So, okay, I would like to suggest you that install the exe file, not the zip file. See, when you install the exe file, so it will set the path also in your system as well as it will. So right now, I'm not able to see the. Yeah, wait. I'm not. I see. There's a voice. Your voice is breaking.
அனலிஸ்ட்ல வந்துட்டு எம்ப்ளாய்க்கு குவார்டர்ஸ் தருவாங்க. ஆமா.
No workspace.
அவுட்டர் கலருங்களா? That is pink.
Okay.
Just install the Oxygen edition.
Okay. See, if you have installed the application using the zip file, I would recommend you not to go with that approach. Best is to go with the exe file. Okay. So you should not download like the zip file and install the application. So there are some dependencies which will not get attached and you might face this kind of issue. All right. Just go with this. You will be able to get it done. That is, just open this and download this version. So let's say like if I'm downloading this, I think it is around 1 or 2 MB.
Sir,
Okay.
can I share my screen, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I see, sir?
Your network access. Yeah, I'm able to see. Go to that error. Okay. The thing is, you have to connect with your IT team. And, so I'll like inform them that you are not enabled to access this, like to install the Eclipse software. So they will enable you to do that. No, you cannot do this.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I messaged them, but no reply from them. That's why. Yeah.
It's okay. See, I would like to suggest you one more thing. So if like few more people's having the same kind of issue, so kindly send it one mail, mentioning all of the names inside that, so that everyone gets solved.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, just take out a name, like whoever facing the issue, send it in the WhatsApp group and share it in the one single mail.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that we can get it done immediately for all. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, can I share this, sir?
Yeah, share your screen.
Yes, sir. That EE is not coming.
Yeah, the second one is the Eclipse
This one.
ID for the Java. Yeah, that's one.
Okay, sir.
So this one you need to install. Okay. Yeah, click on install and it will automatically install the Eclipse.
Okay, sir.
If you're getting an error, that means your IT department have blocked the installation process. So you have to get back with your IT team to get it done.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. So let me just come back to here. I'll just give you an example or I'll like an overview with respect to the operators. So how it has been used with in our programming language. So you will get a better understanding on that. So I'll just say. So this one, let's say operator. Operator. 1 minute. Sorry for the delay. So I'll say int a is equal to 10. So system. Okay, so here what I will do is I will do the conditional statements. So like this, that is if a is greater than 10 and a is less than 10 and less than 20. So you can do this also. So I'll say one more. This is OR operator. And so this is no. Okay. So here what I'm trying to achieve here is this, that is not and as well as an or. So here it will check for a condition as I've already defined some value for a, that is 10. If it is less than 10 or either it is less than 20, it has to return. So if it is less than 10, if it is less than 20, it has to return some value. And coming to not a is less than 10 or and a is less than 20. So what primarily it will return is the Boolean values. That is true or false. Right. If I just run this, as you can see here, so it is returning false for the first condition, then true because it is either the case. So here why is printing false? Any idea? For the first condition, why it is printing false?
Because sir, A has already assigned 10 and here we have written age less than 10. So it should be age less than equal to 10.
Okay. Anyone else wants to?
Both conditions are not satisfied. That's why it's false.
Yes.
And means
We are using AND operator. Yes.
there
So
should be
this is
double.
AND operator. So that means both the conditions should meet. If one of the cases fail, then it will return as false. Right? So this is OR condition. So either one should meet. If either one of the cases it is meeting, then it will return true. If I say this says 30, let's say this has been mentioned as 30, and if I run this, it will also give me that is true. Now let's say this is greater than. Where it is, okay, it is meeting here. Okay, I'll just say this. We'll go to false. So I make 30. This is. You can just walk around and check for what all the conditions which is coming. For now, I have taken 10 and 20. So either 10 or 20, any one condition, if it satisfies, you have to return me. Now, if someone says like, no, A is less than 10, it is not possible since I mentioned it as A is equal to 10, but the A value is less than 20, right? So 10 is less than 20. Yes, it has to return true. Getting? Now this is we call this is a not operator. So this condition is not true. That is, A is not less than 10, but A is less than 20. If I say both are 10, then it should return false. This is not okay. Not this taking an effect. Okay, and operator are used. Okay. And mention it as and just remove this. If A is less, if A is not less than 10 and A is less than 20, it should return true. Okay, now why it is returning true, I will tell. So as you can see, this condition which I have executed first, that is A is less than 10 and A is less than 20. So it was returning me false. That is, either one of the condition is not meeting, right? But when it comes to the opposite of this, that is not of this condition, you have to give me true. Let me just remove this not. And if I execute this, it will return me false now. So the opposite of the above condition. So if I execute this, it will return me true. Everyone able to understand?
Yes.
Okay. Is my voice is very low?
No, sir. It's audible.
Okay. So this is with respect to and, or, and not operators. Okay, let me just create one more. Let's say arithmetic. So here I'll just say the same, int a is equal to 10. So here I will just add one more data type, that is Boolean. So I'll say b is equal to 2. Okay. So how the unary operator is represented? What's the format of unary operator?
Plus number plus.
Plus.
Yes. Okay. Here I will make use of the unary operator. So I will say a plus 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 a. You can say a minus minus. So minus minus a, and make use of one more, that is not b, since I've already mentioned it as a Boolean. Okay. The people who might find difficult to understand what will be the value for a plus plus or plus plus a or a minus, you can just play around this and you can get to know. Okay, now just before I go ahead with executing this, like what will be the output for this? Any idea?
10, sir. First one is 10.
Okay, first one is 10. Next.
And second one is 12.
12. Okay. Next.
Third one also 12, sir. And
which one is 10?
And the fourth one is 10. 10, sir. Fourth one is 10.
Okay. And how about this?
Not equal to b. b is equal to false.
False, sir. Boolean be true.
Okay.
Not b.
Yeah. Okay, let's just check. We'll just wait for the results also. So first is 10, correct. Next is 12, correct. 10 and false. So this 10 will not come. All right. So basically what will happen is, it is an unary operator. The value which is there, it will store as it is. Then whenever a new value will come, then it will append it. So right now we just printing the value of a, so it will print the value of a itself. Now when it comes to plus plus a, that means add 2 more values to the 10, then print the a value. Right, the same thing. The a value will be printed, that is 12 here. And once it is minus, the value will be minus first, then it will print the value. So that's the purpose, like 10 and not means everyone able to understand, I guess. Like as I already defined it as a true, the opposite of this is false. All right. Anyone need clarifications on this?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll do the next
Please
one.
repeat the a plus plus and
Yes.
plus plus once more.
Okay, so coming to the a plus plus, the value that is been stored, let's say this value has been stored in the memory for the variable a. Okay, that is 10. Now after 10, the plus plus is there, but the first value is 10. That will be printed first. Now when it comes to the plus plus a, first it will do the operator, that is a plus plus. So it will add 2 values. Then it will store that value into the variable a. So 10 was there already. So 10 plus 1 plus 1. So it will be 12. So as you can see, if it is like first the variable is declared, the value will be same as it is, whatever the value that is been stored here. Now once the minus minus comes, it will divide, like subtract those values and give the value again. Get it?
Okay, sir.
Okay, all right.
Sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. If I
Yes.
will print system.out.println a in the second line, then what will be, sir, the output?
Yeah.
No.
This one you're asking,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Without the
11.
so that 11 will be used here. So whatever the value that is available, that will be taken as a next. Like if I don't want, let's say, let me remove this. It will go to the same value. So from here on, like if I don't use the auto increment or the decrement, it will go for the same. But when we predefine, like prefix with the plus plus, that means you have to increment the values that is already available in the memory. Then you print the value of the value of a. That's a variable. If not, once you're done with the a plus plus, that is you have printed this, but in memory it has been extended with the one more value, that is 11. So that will be taken, that will be printed in the next print statement. Okay, to give a better idea, in memory there's something called in memory concept.
Sir, a plus equal to 10 is a unary operator or a binary?
This is a unary operator.
Sir, a plus equal to 10.
Hello.
Hello. Sir, my question is a plus equal to 10.
You're saying okay, 8 plus sorry,
A plus
8 plus equal to 10.
a plus equal to 10.
A plus equal to 10. Is it like this?
A.
Because your voice is breaking.
A plus
Do one thing. Send it in. Send it in the chat. Send it in the chat.
Same
Your
that.
voice.
I cannot access to the chat because I am guest, I think. So
Okay.
that a plus equal to 10.
Okay, this is like you are going to define, like predefine the value of a.
Yes,
so whenever the value has been extended, this value get assigned. That value get assigned. That is, let's say like I have my initial value as a is equal to 10. Okay. Instead of, let's say, like this. Okay. Sorry. I have this. Now I have a conditional statements like a for loop or if loop. In that I will be able to return some value, right? So when I'm returning the value, let's say like for loop, I have this. When I'm returning the value, I can say a plus is equal to 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay, like this I can return. So this is like we are going to assign some value where in memory values. So in memory here, a will be after appending, that is a had 10. So it got incremented in the memory and it is stored as 11. So this part will come in the inside the memory. But when it prints, it will print the 10. Now this value will be available in the for the variable that is 10. And once it is appends, that is here. So it will say plus one value, plus one value. That is plus, plus, and 10. So this will result in 12. That will be given, that has been printed here. So when I say, let's say like only A, so I'm just going to print the A, that will give me 11. All right. So
Yes,
when we don't do when we don't do an unary operator, it will print the value that is available, that is the A, that is 11. When we do an unary operator, then we are going to get the in-memory value, that is the value of 10, or if it is incremented or decremented, those values. All right. Okay, let me just remove this. Remove this. Plus, minus, minus, okay. Get one more saying the arithmetic time. Okay. We'll look into Which was left? Bitwise, right? Okay. For bitwise, what are all the logical operators that are available?
Just change the position left or right.
Okay. We have OR and right shift, left shift, power, and also tilt. So I'll just give a small example on few. So I'll just make use of the same. That is to let me take some other value now. Okay. So I'll say so. A and B, A or B, then A power B, then A, that is tilted A. Okay, so why I'm passing here, this is like it will take a reference of these values, that is 50 and 60, 50 or 60 or 50 power 60 or only the opposite of 50. So if I just print this, so 50 will be minus 51. So here A and B, then this. Okay, coming to the bitwise operator. So we have mentioned this is A. Now, what is bitwise operator? So let me just put it across. Okay, for the people who don't know like what is this? This is the binary operators, so zeros and ones. So this is 8. The value size is 8, 4, 2, and 1. So when I say 13, so 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. Okay. So binaries are always zeros and ones. So we are just calculating whether the value is 58 or 13. Now coming back to here, this is a bitwise operator. So it will just check what is the value of A and B. That is A and B is, so it is 8. That is nothing but 1000. Yes, sorry. They should print A or B. That is So 63 is 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay. This should print 55. 1, 0, 1, 1, 8, 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. This should print minus 59. It is negative of this. So it should print this. Okay. 8, 63, 55. Okay, 59. Okay. So to find out these values, you have to do the binary operations. That is, let's say like a plus b. So if a is having 2 and b is having 3, like this, some value that you have declared. Okay, and just put it across like this. Okay. It's already been defined. Okay, this is for a knowledge purpose. I'm not expecting you to do it right away. So if it is 2, 8421, this is the format 8421. So 8 is 0, 4 is 0, 2 is there, so 1 and 0. So this is nothing but value 2. The same thing, 8421. So 0, 0, 1, 1. That's a value of 3. So like this, you have to do this. Now, if it is A and B, that is 0, 0, 1, 1 is 0, 1, 0, 1. Now, how it is? So 1, 0 will always be the value 1. If it is 0, 0, 0. Now 1, 1 will be 0. 1 will be carried out to the next one. So that 1, 0 becomes 1. So the value is 5. So like this, you have to find those binary values and you have to check whether it is printing the same or not. Okay. Able to understand or getting some idea? Anyone have difficulty in understanding this binary operators? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir. For addition, it is okay, but for AND or power operators, how we can calculate that?
Okay, so for that, this is just an example for AND operator. Okay, or we can say like add operator, addition. So for other, we have, that is for the AND or not, we have XOR operation. We have XNOR and X. No, these two are the mandatory things: XOR and XNOR. So this, I believe, few of you or very less people might have gone through in your academic. So I would like everyone to revise this out, because it's not like mandatorily you should know this values and you should, each time you have to calculate this, but you should know, okay, whether if someone gives you a binary operator and tells or asks you like what's the value, you should be able to get the solution for that. So that for that purpose you have to understand or you have to learn this. So as you see here, so it's an, if you see, this is a bitwise and it will always be in a binary operators only. All this bitwise will come in the binary conditions. So if you see, look at the right shift. So right shift is nothing but there's something called concept called two's complement. Okay. Is anyone heard about two's complement? I believe it should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So 2's complement is a major portion with respect to the operators. So in the 2's complement, you will be able to see this right shift and left shift operators. But when it comes to the normal process, that is the AND, or, power, not, this is just a binary operations. Just go through once, like it will take 1 hour of your time and just go through that. I think it is very simple to understand. If you understand the concept of how the values been stored, like for an example 000 and 000. Okay, no, sorry, let me just go with this. Let me just fill this out for you. Can anyone tell what's the values that I'm printing here? What's the value that I'm printing here?
So
1000.
No. Like, what is the equivalent value?
equivalent value, it's 1.
1,
1, 2,
Right.
then 1, 2, 4.
1, 2,
It should be 3, right? So
3.
yeah, this
4.
is 4. So if I wanted to make it as 3, what should I do?
0, 1.
0011.
001.
0100. So it
Double
is.
zero.
I'm repeating again. Just a second. So all this binary will always be in the format of 8, 4, 2, 1. You just make a combination of this and get the values. That's it. So like this, 4, right? So 0 and 0. I just made a mistake here. So it should be 0, 0, 1, 1. Right? So like this, you can practice out and get the binary values. All right. Is it difficult?
No, sir.
Okay. Just understand the concept, that is far more better. Like if you understood the concept, you can just go with the flow, right? Okay. So let me just, I will not get in that in this. Okay. This is very important. Okay, this will be most widely used in the programming concept. So please make sure that you go through this concept very well. That is the ternary operator. So as discussed before, we have the condition. That is a condition which is of a Boolean type. So either this condition meets a statement, first statement, or the next statement. All right. So just an example, let me take int a is equal to 20. Okay, I'll just declare here itself. A is equal to 10 and C is equal to some 30. And what is the result of it? Okay, so I have declared here. Okay, result is not taking. Let me just say it. Since I'm going to put it across. Okay, since I'm having the same data type for the different variables and passing it in a one line. And again, this is not a good coding convention. Whenever you declare something, you have to declare it in separate lines. So that is like int A, int B, and int c. Now, why this is a good coding convention? Let's understand like this. We have a project which we were working upon, and there was some UI changes. Okay, from the front end, there was some change with respect to the username or with respect to the password pattern. That is, password pattern should always be right now. It should be a combination of alphabets and then numerics. All right. So I have a let's say this is as a key, as a variable that is a password. It says password. Okay. Now, if I make the other, that is, let me just remove this out, and there is one more password. Is of type the same. Everyone knows admin and normal user, right? Anyone not aware of it? Okay. So this is my command prompt. If you look at here, there is something called run as administrator. Okay, I can normally run this application as a guest user, but also there is an option called run as administrator. So what change here is this run as administrator will give more privilege or more permissions with respect when it compared to a normal usage, right? So similarly, whenever we access an application, there will be something called admin access and there will be something called user access. But when it comes to the login credentials, it will be the same format, that is username and password. Everyone can agree with this? Someone not able to understand what I'm trying to say? Is there someone? I'll give a small example.
Come again, sir. Come again, sir.
Okay, let's take Facebook. Everyone are using Facebook?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so when you log into the Facebook, like first time login, not like you already logged in and it's already available. If you're logging into the first time, you will be passing your mail ID as well as the password, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now you are just like you yourself or myself is just a normal user who is accessing that service which is posted by Facebook community. Now, the person or the people who are handling that Facebook itself, like the application, they will have the username. Okay, the people or the developers who are handling that Facebook application itself, they will have some extra, like based on their role, they will have extra privileges. That is the admin level access. Can everyone agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. But even though if he or she is an admin, even though if myself or someone who is using the Facebook is a normal user, they will be accessing through the credentials. That is the username and password. Right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, through where they are going to access through the front end only. That is the UI user interface where they will be asking like what's the username and password. Now the field that has been set, that is password. That is password again. Okay. Now, when both of these are same, so how our program, the backend service, it's going to distinguish between two different things. You getting? So in all using?
Encryption, decryption automatically.
No. See, that is completely different thing. So what I'm trying to achieve here is if I have a parameter named password, so how it will work, I will tell you that also. So from the front end, the data will come to the back end.
In Java, if the parameter is same, then two objects go to the similar. That is password is common, but password one and password one is difference sequence to password single one. So in that technique, it will be
Okay. So Okay, let's say that this password is a character, fully characters. There's no numerics only. But when it comes to this, the person who have created the password, he created something like something like password at 456 hash at some encrypted format. Okay, his knowledge, based on his knowledge, he has created this password for this. So that has been passed over here. All right, let me just put it across in this manner. So there was the user one, and his password was password. And there is some user two. His password is now, will it satisfy the condition? If it is a string, it is expecting a string, and I'm passing the password at the rate 457 $7 something. So will it satisfy the condition?
Yeah. But
See, both are passwords only. Okay, there's no mistake in that. But its data type is string. It is expecting a string data, a string format. Now here the person user two is passing the password as password at the rate $457 star. Will it meet the condition? That's the question.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
password.
Yes. It will take the
How?
number as a string.
Number. Okay. Number it will take it as a string. So how do you do that? You're not okay. You're not passing in the user password like within the double quotes, right?
In the second user to the second password will be overwritten by the password.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So, see, you should. Let's say this is a string. As of now, the answer is correct. Like you have to mention it as a string, but where it is. Okay. In order to not to damage the parameters or what we can say pattern. Okay, there are different patterns with respect to password settings. Okay, in order to not to damage the parameter, we make use of different or the separate conditional statements just to accept the different parameters. So let's say this will accept only characters, and this will accept character as well as number. And there's few, let me just give you more. There's one more which is of type integer. Okay, so there are certain conditions will be given from the client saying that you have to allow these kind of parameters or this set of patterns that need to be allowed. So there are chances the people try to hack. Okay, there are chances people try to invade into your systems. So in order to make sure that is very secure, we have to make use of different or separate patterns for each conditions. Okay, this might look very huge concept as of now. So I believe this will look very huge right now, but definitely it will not look very huge after a few days. Right now, just understand these are the some of the patterns or the some of the conditions that we will apply on programming code. All right.
Okay. Yes.
So I'll just remove this. Okay. To coming back to the ternary operator. So result is equal to my condition. So what's my condition is if that is, let's say A is greater than B, then okay, or A is greater than C, then A, or C, or if B is greater than C, sorry, greater than C, then B. If not, then C. Able to understand, right? The statement. So the same thing applies for B is greater than C. If B is greater than C, then you have to print B. If not, go to print C. Okay. So the same applies. Let me just print. So I will say this so. Okay. What will be the object that I can use to print my statement?
Yes, result.
Come again.
Results, sir. Result.
Result array.
So as I said before, if I want to use it with a message, that is a statement, then I will say result.
Plus
Then
operator.
we have to use plus. If I'm not defining this, that is in double quotes, then I don't want to use the plus also. I can just directly say res. Right? So I'll just print this. So result is 30. So when you look into this, C is having the highest value. I'm checking the greater value here and everywhere. So I'm checking which is having the highest value out of 3. That is the largest number among 3. All right. Okay. So that's about the ternary operator. And what we have the shift, right shift. Okay, I'll quickly complete that. I'll say shift operators. Okay, as I said before, the shift operators or the binary operator, the and or not, everything will come under the binary operations. Okay, so if I'm doing some right shift operator, it's again the binary operator. So let's say let me take 2. So left shift, we call it as a left shift since it is towards the left. Then I will do a right shift. Then one more is what's that? We can do double right shift. Just do that also. Just check whether the output will come or not. Let's see. Okay. So just a second. So okay. It will take time to calculate. Let me check directly. Okay, it's printing 232, 14, 14. Again, if it is 232, equivalent binary value is 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 3, 2. Okay, it is 14. So 14 is 8. That is 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. 1, 1, 1, 0. Okay. So this right shift operator is again, it's a 2 complement. Once we get the 2's complement value, then we will add that value to the given value, that is 58. So whatever the result that we will be getting here. So I would prefer to do research or some read about the 2's complement, then the binary operator. These two are the important ones. So whenever you are working on some project, that will help you out a lot. Clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, for the first one, we have to use 58 into 2 power operator, the 2 power 2. I think that
Yes.
that way also is working, sir.
Yeah, that way is also possible.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Right shift 2 for 2 divided.
Okay. So we have done with operators. Then we will look into the commands. Okay. Why comments is an important topic here is because whenever we do the coding part, okay, it is very important. You have to comment what you are working on. So let's say, for an example, if I'm not commenting this, you might, like, the person who is very new to this and who is accessing my file, he might get confused, like, what is this exactly, right? Who have already worked, they will find it very easy. Okay, this is a ternary operator, this is the condition, and XYZ. Okay, that is done. What if someone very new to this programming world and is not even don't know what it is exactly? So how we will be able to understand? Do you feel comment is very important? Does everyone feel that a comment is very important, or we can
Yes,
just
sir.
Yes,
code?
sir. Yes, it is very
It's
important.
Okay. So it's not like you have to mention all these things to make them understand. So you can go with a shorter line, like one line description about what you're working on. So that will help the another developer who is working on, like, the same file. All right. Now to comment, we have multiple options. So I believe few of you have not installed the Eclipse. So just make a note of the keys that I'm going to tell now. So there is something called single line comment. There is multi-line comment. Then there is Java doc comment. All right. Now, single line comment, multi-line comment. The comments whichever that I have used here. So these are nothing but the single line comment. That is double slash. So what you have to do is note on the key, control, then backslash. control plus backslash will make the line or the command to be commented. Now to uncomment this, forward slash. Okay. To uncomment, control shift and forward slash. To comment, control and backslash. To uncomment, control shift and forward slash. All right. Okay. One more key that is ctrl plus backslash. This is there. Okay. Now coming to the multi-line. So let's say this is multi-line for me. You can do this like this. You can select and you can do this. That is control slash. If not, just remove that. Okay. Now multi-line, how it is represented as is slash star, then ends with star slash. Okay, any statement that is defined inside this, we consider it as a multi-line comment. Getting? Now to do that, let me just go to here. Let's say Control Shift. Control Shift and backslash. I'm repeating again. So just select this, Control Shift and backslash. You will be able to see there is a slash star and ends with a star slash. So this is represented as a multi-line comment. Now, when this will be used is when we define a one-line statement about a concept that we are defined here somewhere. So like, let's say I want to tell this is a ternary operator. I can say it like this. Okay. Just go back. Ctrl plus shift plus backslash. Now coming to the Java doc. So what exactly it is it is the who is the author for this project. So for this project means the particular file. So who have developed this particular file and stored into the server. So to do that, all you have to do is Alt Shift J. As you can see here, it is printing my name. All right. I'm repeating Alt Shift J. Getting? Now this is double star and ends with a single star. So that is Alt Shift plus J. Did everyone made a note of this? These three keys.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me just go back. Comments. So double slashes, that's the single line comment. And this we call this a C style, that is star slash star and ends with a star slash, that is used to comment out multiple. And the Java documentation. So that is slash double star and ends with a single star slash. Okay, so this is done. Okay. Are we good to go with the next topics?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Coming to conditional, looping, break, and continue. So all these are one single topic actually to be on a note. So like it's like a conditional statement, a looping statement, and the break and continue are used along with the conditional as well as the looping. Now there are few conditional statements which we already looked or which we have already seen. So can anyone say one? When we use condition statement, can anyone say?
Sir, in terminal operation, there is a condition.
Okay. Okay. So basically, whenever we want to come into a conclusion whether the given statement is true or false, so in that statements we are going to use the conditional statements. So conditional statements is consist of the if, that is if we have if statement, we have if else statement, we do have nested if. So let me just show what is exactly the statement is like, which are executed only if certain conditions are met, as I said before. So which is represented by logical, either true or false. It is a Boolean expression. And if it meets that, it will return true. If not, it will go to the default statement that we are going to define, or any the next statement that we have defined. Okay, for decision making, we will be using the if else statement as well as a switch case statement. So coming to if else, if the condition is true, then it will print, or else it will print the next statement. In coming to the switch case, we will be having list of statements like statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4. So it will switch from statement 1 to statement 2 to statement 3 to statement 4. It's like it will, on each statement, it will check whether the condition is meeting or not. If anywhere the condition is met, it will stop there and it will execute. Okay, you might get understanding here. Okay, as you can see, there's an if. This is the if else statement. If this is a condition, execute this statement, else execute this. Now coming to the nested if, we will be having if condition. Within that, there will be one more if condition. So once the internal if condition has been executed, then it will execute the external if condition. Able to understand this? If else and the nested if else.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, coming to the switch case. So I have a switch and I will pass some variable. So let me just give a small example. In a week, we have 7 days starting from Sunday to Saturday. So if I say in the place of variable, if I say, let's say like Thursday, okay. So here my case, the value 1 starts from the Sunday and it will go to the till Saturday. In one of the cases, if it matches with the Thursday that I've defined here, it will stop that statement and execute that statement. Able to understand how the switch case works?
Yes, sir.
So let me define now I have defined a price for a particular one product and I would like to check a condition on this and I would like to print a statement for that. So if the price is greater than 18,000, sorry, 1,800, then you print this statement, that is right? So if it prints, okay, that's not printing this.
It's not going inside the if condition because it is not meeting the satisfy the conditions.
Yeah, this is. I need to print that also. Else, we'll say just remove this. Okay. So for this, the first one is coming. Now, if I say it is less than, it's not equal to, it should go the second statement, that is else. If I don't want here, that is first. Let me go with the if statement. If it is less than 1800, it will not go. Then if I put an else statement, so this is a condition. If this is not true, then what else? Next. So you have to print this. Execute. So it will print the change the price value. So that is the conditional format for if else. Okay. Able to understand, right? Or let me just.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What exactly is this? Anyone know?
Divisible by 2.
So
If
when
mod
we are
equal to 0, yeah, it's same divisible by 2.
Divisible by 2.
okay, we call it as a modulus, not division. So we call it as a modulus. So when we are going to use this is whenever we want to find the even or the odd numbers. Okay, division will only be used or only be called when we are doing an expression, that is a plus b or something, only with one single statement. When we are making sure that it is like checking the condition whether it is equal to 0 or 1, then we call it as a modulus. Okay. And the number is 15, so it should be odd. So if I go with 10, go with even number. Okay, this is a simple example that I can give. Even able to understand, right? If statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you all try it for the ternary operator like this after finishing with the session? Yes, no. Okay, just take it as an assignment. Try it if else statement for the ternary operator. All right.
Using ternary operator.
Yeah, ternary operators. That is, we have a condition and we found out two statements, either this or that. So using if else statement, try to write down a code for a ternary operator. Understood the use case?
Yes, sir.
Or should I do it?
Will do it.
Okay, good. Let me just go back here. So, okay, coming to the switch case. Just execute quickly. Switch. And for switch, I will use what should we pass here inside the parameter? Any idea?
Day, sir. The variable.
What should, yeah, which, okay, day.
Day.
Okay, when this will get executed? At what case?
Case 4.
Okay, so let me just quickly type this. That's Monday. Okay, so if I execute this, you should be able to see Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, why it is coming as Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
No break statement is there.
Yes. So that's the power of break, and there's some another option called continue. So what break statement will do is it will end whenever the condition is met. So continue, what it will do, it will break the statement first, and it will continue to search in the next statements also, whether there is one more matching pattern or not. If not, then whatever the the statement that got matched, that will be returned. Able to understand this break and continue?
Yes, sir.
So I'll just finish off this. Okay. Okay, now it is coming Thursday and Friday. Okay, I missed out one. Okay, now my question is, what if, let's say, so what if my condition is not met? There's no case 8, right? So what can we do?
You should add
We
a
use
default
defaults.
statement.
We can add default.
Yes, so we'll add a default statement saying that Fine. So that's about the switch case statement and break statement also. So okay, just go back. So we have done with a looping construct, that is if. Okay, there's one more, while and do while for loop. I will do that. So break and continue. So as we have seen, that is with respect to, we will be using after the condition. So we can use it with if loop or while loop or the do while loop, wherever like when we are trying to find some conditions, we can make use of the break and continue statements. All right. So okay, continue the same. Which one you want, like the while loop or the continued while loop?
While loop.
Okay. Okay. There's one more concept called scanner. Okay, the scanner is like it's not everywhere used. It's only for initial stage of the beginners who is learning the coding part. So what scanner will do is it will help the take the input from the keyboard and present it to the output, that is the display. So from the keyboard to the display, the values that is being passed will be able to do through the scanner object. So I will just demonstrate that also in this example. I'll just make use of one scanner class, that is scanner. Okay, this is we have the internal class called scanner. So I'm making use of that. So I'll say sc is equal to new scanner. The system dot in. Okay, so there are two new terms here. One is new and one more is the system.in. Okay, so make a note of this. New keyword is used to allocate memory for the object, for the class. So whenever we create an object, we have to create a memory for that object. So in order to make allocate a memory, we make use of the keyword new. There were around 50 keywords, right? When we first started, that is 50 keywords. In this, if you see here, there's a new keyword. Okay. So the new keyword is used to store the or allocate a memory for the object. Everyone clear? Should I repeat this?
Come again, sir. Can I repeat this?
Yeah. Okay. So new, it is a keyword. So this keyword helps to allocate memory for the object for the class. The object that has been created, we need to create a memory also in order to store the values. So for that purpose, we will make use of the keyword new. Will initialize or allocate the memory for this particular object. Clear?
Okay.
So system.in. So system.in means this is an input. Whenever we pass some values, that will be taken as a buffer. So we call it as a buffer. So it will store it in that buffer. Once we invoke that buffer, we will be able to pass it to the machine. Everyone knows cache, cookies cache. Anyone who doesn't know what is cache? It's okay. You can, if someone doesn't know, you can raise their hand.
I don't know, sir.
Okay. Okay, I will give you a small example. Everyone uses Facebook. Is like no one is there who is not using Facebook. Is anyone who is not using Facebook? Everyone using, right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay. Everyone using Gmail also. It's no doubt in that. So once you're logged in, let's say like once you're logged in using your username and password, and you have browsed some feeds and you browsed some comments and so on so. Okay. Once you're done with your work, you will log out. Let's say like you have logged out of the Facebook. Now, when you again, like after a few hours, like 2 to 3 hours of gap, and you're trying to log in again, so there will be like, it will only prompt you the username and password instead of you entering again. Have you seen this? Anyone
Yes,
seen
sir.
this?
Yes.
So how is it happening is it is through the cookies. So cookies or the cache. So what it will do is it will store the information that you have passed already, and if you are making the attempt to log in again, so there will be a time limit. Okay, so for every cookie or the cache there's a time gap of 1 day. There is a 24 hours. After 24 hours it will get expired and you have to re-enter again. There are this pattern is completely independent with respect to the organization. So Facebook has some extra limitations with respect to the cache. So they have like this. So within a week, if you're relogging to their system, it will be automatically given. If you're logging after a month or 2 months, it will not allow you to log in. It will throw you a captcha. So wherein which you have to enter that captcha, and then it will be allowing you to the login to their system. Okay, so all these conditions are been written under the cookie. So what it will do, it will store some metadata, that is a small data about your credentials. So whenever you reopen your browser and start logging in, it will automatically show you this is the username and password. If you want to continue with this, you will click OK, then it will log in. The same way, we have a concept called buffer. Okay, so that buffer will have the value. It will store that value from whenever we hit, let's say like when we hit enter in our keyboard. So that command, okay, this person, the user have entered, hit the button enter. That information will be stored as a buffer. Now, if I want to access that information, I will be making use of system.in. Able to understand now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So say so. So enter any number. Sc dot next int to, and say boolean, that is flag is equal to false. Okay, now the condition, that is a while. Okay, before that let me explain what is happening. So here I'm saying I'm just passing a statement, enter any number. So number is from 0 to 10. So there is an integer again. So the number will be taken as a next int, that is an integer in scanner class. We have to take it as a next int. If it is an float, it will be next float. Okay, based on the data type that we are entering, it should be entered. So right now it's an integer. I'm passing it as an integer. So this is a user defined variable with a value. That is where I'm saying I is equal to 2, and I'm using a flag as a variable, mentioning it as a false, not as true. So I will say while I is equal to num divided by 2, if num modulo I, if it is equal to 0, then flag it true. Then break. Okay. Okay. Ready. So I will make use of the unary operator again. If the flag, not the flag, that's num1 divided by 2. So num modulus of I is equal to 0. So it is a prime number. Else it's not a prime number. Okay, let me just put some. Okay, it's not take. While I is this, if it is equal to 0, then flag it equal to true break. So increase if not okay. Done. Any number suggestions?
19.
90. 19. Okay. Just number you want.
12.
Okay. Tell me the number which is not a prime.
Twelve is not a prime number.
Okay, divided by 2. Yeah, correct. For this. Okay, there's something wrong here. This is this is this. Well, I is equal to num divided by 2. It is not taking. Okay.
That is conditions, and should
Yeah.
be equal to.
Like if I say equal to, so it is like matching with 2. This will become like this is 2. and the num value that I'm passing,
Yes.
whatever the value that I'm passing, divided by 2, if it is equal to match or not. But I want it as this. I don't want to equalize because I already mentioned it as an equalized here. For everything, it will come as line number. Okay.
Sir, I equal to number 2 or from I less than equal to number 2?
Come again?
Sir, so while I less than equal to number 2, I guess, from 2 to n by 2, while I less than equal to number 2, less than equal to, not less than equal to, I guess, and in hypertext.
Let's take sort of example. Yeah. So with all the prime numbers, wait, I'll just put it down that also. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 19, 23, 29, 31.
17 also, 17.
2,
Yeah.
3, 5, sir. 4, not 4. It's 5.
2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, and so on. I think this much is enough, right? Yeah, okay. While prime number, that is I, which is less than equal to number divided by 2, then check the prime number, whether if it is equal to 0. If yes, then flag it as true. Then break the condition. Increment the I value. If this condition is meeting, that is while condition is met, then print according to that. If it is not flagged, then it is a prime number. If it is a flagged, that is a not a prime number. So flag is this, that is a false. So opposite of that is flagged, when it becomes true, it will print as a prime number. Got this, everyone? Okay, before we break for lunch, any doubts on so far? Understanding this till break and continue. Tomorrow we'll be discussing on the processing array and recursion and few more topics. Any doubts so far? Understanding these concepts, basic concepts?
That string concept, that is password, I don't know.
Okay, that was just for a general knowledge. As of now, it is not required. So when I said password, it's like we call entities. Okay, I'll discuss on that. Like it's an advanced concept. You will understand later part. For now, if you have understood the basic concepts, that is the keywords, the identifiers, data types, that is far enough.
Okay.
So just let me know, like if you're able to, like if you have understood with respect to the basic concepts, we can break for lunch. If not, I will just summarize and we'll break for lunch. Everyone understood the concepts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my suggestion is, even though if it is look very simple and able to understand, so just go with the documentations again and understand the concepts, work with examples, because these are the basic pillars for any project or any programming code. Okay. So these are the many main requirement for any program that need to be up and run. So just go with documentation part and understand the concepts much better. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So we'll be breaking for lunch now. So you're all will be connecting back at 2:45, and from 2:45 you have to log into the portal. Okay. So in Portal, there are some labs associated with the today's concept. So where you all will be working on it, and it is all about the self-study. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then
Okay,
we'll
sir.
meet you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and one more thing, the people who had issues with respect to installation of the Eclipse, please kindly get in touch with your IT team. Okay.
Yes, sir. I just contacted with them. They will resolve with everyone in certain period.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you. Bye.